Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. The continuations of Sabbasava Sutta. Previous week, I have talked about the first part, the intoxicant, the asava, that should be removed by seeing or vision. Now today, the second part, second types of asava, the taints, the cankers, or intoxicants, mental intoxicants or defilements. The Buddha starts with the vocative case, bhikkhu or bhikkhave. The bhikkhus, what are the asavas that should be removed through restraint? We call in Pali samvara, restraint. The first thing is restraint or controlling the eyes. Many times in the Pali text appear Chakundriyan, Asamudam, Viharandan, Avijja Domanasa, Babaka Akusala Dhamma, Anosaveyo. The Buddha repeat many times. So if someone cannot control the eyes, there can be many kinds of defilements that arise through the eyes or through seeing. Then here samvara means controlling or restraint. Actually, seeing is not really a very big problem. We have eyes, we will see many things, but the main thing is yoniso manasikara, wise intention, or we can also understand right consideration. So if we know the danger of seeing something, then we may have yoniso manasikara. Similarly, if we know the benefit of seeing something, then there can be yoniso manasikara, wise intention or wise consideration. The first thing is desirable object. On seeing a desirable object, there will be attachment. The second one is undesirable object. When seeing undesirable object, there will be anger. Here, desirable and undesirable can be according to the personality. We have many different types of desirable objects. We also have many different types of undesirable objects. According to our personality, it will be different. According to our age, environment is changeable. So in seeing something, if there's attachment, there's also asava. Similarly, when seeing something, if there is hatred, then there will be defilements. Hatred is also defilements. So if our minds are free from attachment and hatred, whatever then we see, that means we have a wise intention. Then if we don't control our eyes or any other sense faculties, sense doors, then there will be many types of immoral actions. Sometimes sin is not, we cannot stop only when seeing. There are many other actions for it. For example, when seeing good quality, the watch. Seeing is okay, no problem, but we will make actions to get the one. There will be, it will be moral action, it also can be immoral actions. Then sometimes there can be also ignorance, impatience, with the things we have. We need more, better quality. Then that is also intoxicants, defilements. So here samvara also can be translated as discerning, endowment process. So it will be very, very difficult to explain now for all the beginners. But many of meditators has known what is the endowment process. So when seeing some color, endowment process arises. Then when we have wise intention, there will be wholesome mind moments in the embodiment. Wholesome consciousness and wholesome mental factors in the embodiment mind moment. If we don't have wise intention, there will be unwholesome mental process, unwholesome mental factors and consciousness and the embodiment mind moment. So if we can know endowment process, sure, we can stop actions. But this is not for beginners, only for advanced meditator. Similarly, when hearing something, there will be attachment or hatred if we dislike, tasting, touching, smelling. If we like, there will be attachment. If we dislike, there will be hatred or anger, dosa. So if we can control our eyes, ears, nose, tongue, and body, then no attachment. So this is called restraint. Then we have one simile. If there's a city without any gate door, without any gatekeeper, then nowadays we can say there are toll gates in every country, in every city, in every capital. There are no toll gate, no one check, no checkpoint. Good or bad person can come to the city, can attack the city. Similarly, if we don't have any samvara, restraints, or controlling 6 doors, all the unwholesome mind can enter and also can attack, like a bandit or robber. When robbers enter into a house, they will say, please give me all your properties. If you don't give, they can beat you. Then although they beat, if you don't give, they will kill you. Similarly, when the defilement arises, you have to give all your wholesome mind to that defilement. Very big investment. Not only that, very long time thinking about unwholesome. Remain very many mental process in the mind. That is why controlling eyes, controlling ears, controlling nose, tongue, and body, then this is also beneficial. We can remove many defilements. Then we also have many other explanations. Then there is another one, that dasana sansaka. Seeing is also a kind of contact. We can say eye contact. Through seeing, there can be defilements. And savana sansaka, through listening or hearing, there can be attachments. Then kaya sansaka, through touching, there can be attachments. Samulabana samsaka, through speaking or making conversation between two persons, there can be attachments. The longer we speak, sure, the better we have conversation, the more things we have to remember. Then finally, we also have sambhoga samsaka, attachment through the giving and the taking. We can say exchanging properties is also a kind of attachment. Anyway, the main point is, if we cannot control the defilements, this is also bad things. Otherwise, vipaka, the result of defilements, is also bad. Defilement is also bad mind states. Then the result of defilement also bad already. That's why there must be restraint, controlling eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body, including mind. Then, actually in the text it mentioned many stories. Now, I will say only very simple story. Attachment to the food. Right? Because many foreigners complain about the foods here. Right? So there was the king in the Varanasi. He has many attendants, also well known, is very generous. Then, whenever he was going to eat, he shared his food with his ministers. One day, they were picnicking in the park nearby a lake. When they were picnicking, his cook is cooking in the kitchen, preparing special food for the king. When the king came and rest, he approached the king and served the food for the king. Then he cooked the rice with many different kinds of meat, also many different other ingredients. That's why it's a good smell, also very tasty and very delicious and very nutritious. When he was going to eat, because of smell and taste, he don't wish to share his food with his minister. Actually, according to Loganiti, no, you cannot test in Asian India. We also have in Myanmar. Our tradition also we have Loganiti. In Loganiti it mentions, when eating good food, we remember our beloved one. When we are encountering some difficulties, we remember a wise person. When we are in the battlefield, we remember a brave one. But now, although he was going to eat very good food, he forgot all his ministers. Everybody he shared his foods. Then he don't wish to share. He didn't wish to share his foods with minister, so he eats very quickly. And later he remember, oh, this is not good things to do. The recollecting his attachments, his very bad attachments. Also, he also feels sense of urgency. Something guilty in the mind. Then he thought, life is not only for foods. Then he was to cut all the attachments. He was to eradicate all kinds of defilements. And he was ordained and renounced. Finally, he became Bhajjaka Buddha. We have that story in Theravada. So this is the food. Or the tongue. The tongue is very small, but it can burn all over the body. Similarly, eye is very small, but it can burn all over the body. Nose very small, ears very small, but it can burn all over the body. That's when Buddha also say, fire. Defilement is a fire. It's very heaty. Then, if we can control the eyes, what can be the result? We have some arguments, Venerable Bhattaji and Venerable Ananda. What is the best thing to see? This is the first question. Then they debate. Venerable Bhattaji says, if we can see Brahma, this is the best thing to see. What's the best thing to hear? Then, so if we can hear good things, okay, this is it. Auspicious things, whatever auspicious things, if we can hear, that is the best thing to hear. The first thing to listen. Venerable Ananda reply. Whatever then we see, if we can take another ship, this is the best thing to see. Right? Whatever then we hear, if we can take another ship, throw hearing, this is the best thing to hear. The best thing to listen. Then again, we also have many other similar stories. Seeing something, even the Buddha himself, seeing very minor things, then he got sense of urgency, he renounced the world, he became ascetic, then he attained psychic power like that. This is the Buddha. There are also many Bhajjaka Buddha like that. Okay, now I will say one of the Bhajjaka Buddha. He was also a king. His name was Aniwadana. Aniwada. Aniwada means if he has done something halfway, he will never stop. He trying to complete that one. Very diligent king. That's why his name was Aniwada. So one day, he was on the way to the park. He saw a forest fire burning very far. Then the one fire became very big. It can burn whether it's dry or wet, whatever things. Also, it just go forwards, straight forwards, never come back. If it has burned, never come back, just go forwards. Just burn new thing like that. Similarly, we also have similar cases. When seeing that, he thought, how can I remove? How can I burn all the defilements? Actually, defilements is burning us again. Right? We just delight in new things all the time. Burning with new things every day. This is the nature of defilements. Sometimes maybe some old thing also, maybe old grass, for example, like grass. After 1 year, grow up again, dry again, burn again. After a few years, maybe some tree will grow up, then dry, burn again. Similarly, old or new, whenever regrow, the defilement can burn. But in his case, he just wishes to burn the defilements. He don't wish himself to be burned by defilements. On the way, he was that thoughts. He had that thoughts on the way to the park. Then again, when he come back from the park to his palace, on the way he saw fishermen catching the fish. There were a group of fishermen on the boats, small boats maybe. Then when he looked at the boat, he saw a big fish jumping and run away from the boat to the water. Then when seeing that, all the fishermen crying out, "Now a fish run away." When hearing that, they can also recall it. They also have a net. Although they come up with the net, the fish can come out. Also not small fish, big fish come out and also run away, escape. How can I escape from defilements, catching all kinds of defilements? Here the main thing he picked up only 2 defilements, Tanha and Ditthi. This is the thing we are saying today, asava, taint. Craving and a wrong view. So catching these 2, how can I run away? Then he has a parami, enough parami. He realized the way to practice. Then he was ordained again, then practice. Finally he attained Prajika Buddha. So in brief, whatever then we see is beneficial for us. Whatever then we hear is beneficial for us. Sure, this is the thing to see, the thing to listen. It's not that much beneficial, just increasing defilements, unwholesome deeds. Okay. If we don't see, don't hear, it's much better. Then in brief, if we don't control eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body and mind, there will be asava, intoxicant, mental intoxicant. We have 3 types of asava. We can also say 4 types of asava, because the lobha is twice. Kamasava, bhavasava, lobha, greed, or craving or attachment. And ditthasava, wrong view or wrong idea. Then avijjasava, ignorance. If we have all this kind of ignorance, this is burning our body. We are intoxicated. Then, by controlling all the symptoms, then we can overcome all these kind of intoxicants. Now we can also escape from the intoxicant. This is the second type of asava we should remove through restraint. Then the third types of asava. Bhikkhus. What are the asavas that are to be removed through proper use of requisites? We have 4 requisites. Every day we have to use the clothes we wear, the food we eat, the residence we live, then the medicine we are taking. These 4 requisites. If we don't know how to use the 4 requisites properly, there will be defilements. Intoxicant again. Everybody know. Padisankha yoniso, jivaram padisevami. That's the things we have to do when using properties. That's the purpose of using properties. Everybody know that one, right? Bhikkhus, in this teaching, bhikkhus wear the robes reflecting properly. He wears the robes only for protections from the cold, heat, catflies, mosquitoes, winds, heat of the sun, snakes, scorpions, and lice, and just to cover up his nakedness. Actually, hirikopina, we saw that one. Hirikopina means shameful things. To cover shameful things, we wear the clothes. Actually, there are many examples in the Sandosa contentment. Thinking the rope is like a bondage. When we have many injury, then many skin disease in the body, we have to apply medicine. Then we have to cover with bondage all over the body. Similarly, the rope is like a bondage. There are many things in the body, so to cover up, wear the clothes. So, actually, we don't need many clothes. I don't know how many clothes to use. I have only 3 sets of robes now. This is enough for daily life. Now, because of rainy season, I have to use. If it's winter, not need that much. Anyway, the purpose of wearing clothes is not for beauty, to protect ourselves from the heat and cold. So now, sometimes rain, cold, we may need extra clothes to cover. In winter, there will be cold, we may need extra clothes to cover. Just for protections. This is the main purpose. That means when we have wise attention, then there will be wholesome minds. If we think like that, it will be wholesome minds. If we think, oh, this clothes is fine, good clothes for me. That was a little bit soft, thin, good for me. Right? This is not the main thing. The main thing is to cover the body and also to protect from heat and cold and something like that. If we don't have a wise attention, we may have attachment to the clothes. When we have attachment to the clothes, this is also asava, kama asava, sensual desire. Also a kind of intoxicant. It will make your mind dizzy. Then again, we also have bhavasava. For example, okay, now I have to combine 2 things. I'm controlling this one, right? For example, you may see someone wearing very smart clothes, very fine clothes, very good clothes. When seeing that, or if I can wear that kind of clothes, then what kind of attachment? Attachment to the life. This also intoxicants, mental intoxicants. Then there can be many kinds of wrong view. Because of whole wrong view. After this life, maybe no more life. So I'm sure where this one tonight, this life, for example, there can be many kinds of wrong view. Then sure, whenever there is attachments, whenever there is a defilements, there must be ignorance automatically. Without ignorance, defilement cannot arise. So, when we have asava, intoxicants, then it will burn our body again. One more thing here. There was a reflection of the food. Okay, next passage, reflection of the food. You know already, Prince so Pinda Padam Pritisiwami, Neva Tawaya Namadaya Namadanaya. You know already that one. So we don't eat the foods for enjoyment, or for fun, or for strength, or for better complexions, but only for sustaining the physical body and to have just enough nutrients for the maintaining the life, or to appease the hunger and to carry out the noble practice of purity. Then, and this unfoods, I shall remove the existing discomforts and I shall prevent the arising of new discomforts. That is the purpose of foods. So that means if we don't eat, we'll be hungry. If we eat too much, also discomfort, then we must have enough foods. So, here we have one story. Pa Auk himself encountered that one. He had a Dhamma friend, not very far from here, in Mudong. After Mudong, we have one place called Chaiko, one of the cemetery. I don't remember the name of the one. There's one cemetery. In the cemetery, there's one bhikkhu. Now he passed away already. That bhikkhu is also vegetarian. Then they met each other. When they met, they discussed something about the Dhamma. Then the bhikkhu also Pa Auk was a vegetarian. He was also vegetarian. Then he talked to Pa Auk. Bhante, if the meat burn the tongue, it's very painful, right? You know, you have very hot meat, for example, just newly cooked, it can burn the tongue, right? So when the meat burn the tongue, also very painful, right? Similarly, when potato burn the tongue, also very painful, right? So that means, whether vegetarian or non-vegetarian, when we have attachment to the foods, we are burning our tongue. Right? This is the main thing. Then, when we have a wise intention, like what Buddha has instructed, how to reflect when eating. Then we have a wise intention, that's why no more attachment to the food. No, it will not burn our tongue. Then, the next one, reflects about the residence, the dwelling place. So bhikkhu reflecting properly, he makes use of the monastic's living place. He does live only for protections from the cold, heat, caterpillars, mosquitoes, winds, heat of the sun, snakes, scorpions, and lice. And to protect from the weather and for the purpose of solidity and seclusion. So we just use the kuti to protect from heat and cold. So this is also wise intention. Then well decorated kuti. We have attachments, well decorated kuti. Then live in the banyan kuti. Okay, you have already know the recollections, but it's so that's why I don't need to explain that much. Then the last one is the medicine. So reflecting properly, he makes use of medicine and medical requisites for curing illness. He used them only to remove oppressive ailments that rise and only to be completely free from ailments. So when we use medicine, also know for the tasty or good taste or bad taste, this is medicine. Good smell or bad smell, this is medicine. Just for treatments, for curing sickness, we take medicine. So again here, when we have these four kinds of requisites, when we are using these four requisites, we must have that kind of recollections. We have four kinds of recollections. This voice is called jnana samvara. When we have revision knowledge, reflection knowledge, then we can overcome attachment to clothes, foods, residence, medicine. If we don't have a knowledge of reviewing, then it's impossible to overcome attachments. Now we also have many other types of restraints. We call samvara. Now I will briefly explain. The first one is sila samvara, restrained by morality. Previously in my first talk, I have talked about ordinary, uneducated person, uneducated ordinary person. Right? He also used actually. The uneducated ordinary person is not disciplined by 5 precepts, 8 precepts, or 10 precepts, all Bhattimokha precepts. So that means if we cannot observe, then we become uneducated person automatically. So for about the sila, you know already. Physical actions and vocal actions. Okay, bodily actions and bhava actions. If we can train our body and mind, then we have morality. We may not harm anybody. The second restraint is restrained by mindfulness, sati samvara. This is the thing we have said previously. Restraint in the 6 doors, 6 faculties, eye, ears, nose, tongue, body, and mind. This is the previous restraint. Next one is jnana samvara. Actually, no reflection, 4 requisites. This is the jnana samvara. Restrained by the knowledge. That one is actually very wide. Jnana samvara is very wide. So if we practice samatha also, jnana samvara. Without knowledge, we cannot improve samatha also. So when we have good concentrations, when we can see the nimitta, sure, we can oppress or we can overcome defilements. This is also Jnana samvara. The restraint by knowledge. Vipassana is also actually jnana samvara. When we can practice vipassana, discerning mental process, whatever then we see, we may know there's an idle mental process, all the mental fetters and mind movements in every mental process. If we cannot cause a relationship of idle mental process and contemplating them as anicca, dukkha, anatta, this is also called jnana samvara. So jnana samvara is very wide. Then, number 4, khanti samvara, restrained by patience. It will be the next one. So I have to continue the next one later. Then number 5, viriya samvara, restrained by energy. So that means if we can make efforts to overcome wrong thoughts, thoughts of sensual desire, thoughts of evil, thoughts of cruelty, and this is called right efforts. If we are trying to overcome that kind of thoughts, then in brief, if we have a knowledge, the knowledge of samatha or knowledge of morality and concentration, we can also overcome defilements. If we have reviewing knowledge or recollections of the four dogmacies, we can also overcome attachments and defilements, asava. This is the third group. Then the fourth group. Bhikkhus. What are the asavas that are to be removed through forbearance or patience? Then that one is also called khanti samvara, restraint by forbearance. What kind of forbearance it should be? We have 4 types of practice. The first one is the akama patipada. Akama means impatient. Patipada means practice. So without patience, if we practice, it's also impossible to improve. This is very weak conditions. The second one, kamma patipada. Patiently practice. Practicing the Dhamma with the patience. This is the way to improve. Another one, samma patipada. Balancing, controlling faculties. Practicing Dhamma. That will be the way to improvement. The last one is Dhamma patipada, taming oneself. So taming our mind and our actions, then we can practice the Dhamma. This is the way to improve. So now in this part, we have to know kamma patipada, practicing by patience, or patiently practicing. Then the Buddha addressed to his disciple, bhikkhus. In this teaching, the bhikkhus, reflecting properly, can endure cold, heat, hunger, thirst, catflies, mosquitoes, winds, heat of the sun, snakes, scorpions, and lice. He can endure ill-spoken and unwholesome words. He has the nature of being able to endure severe, cruel, and half disagreeable unpleasant, deadly and painful sensation which arise in the body. This is Buddha's teaching. So heat and cold. Also kanti. Many mosquitoes kanti. This is a kanti parami. Then sometimes we don't have that much kanti, not that much easy to be patient. For example, we have too cold. Also, not that much easy to meditate. Impatient. Similarly, in Myanmar, not that much cold, maybe hot. Too hot, cannot meditate. Now, if I say according to the text, then it will be a heavy burden for you. In the commentary it mentioned, if you feel cold, try to remember that you had been in the hell many times. Fire in the hell is hotter than in human realms. We have a time to release. At night we can release from the hot. Maybe it will be a little bit cooler than daytime. In the hell, every day, every night, non-stop, hot. Then we also have hunger and thirsty. Right? Compared to ever-hungry ghosts, we are better. This is the way to console ourselves. Compared to ever-hungry ghosts, we are better. Thirsty, hungry. For hungry ghosts, although they wish to eat, they pick up some foods, empty, disappear. Their karma is very strong. You may remember a story. I think a few years ago I have a talk here. Some of the old, very long time meditation, you remember that one. There was a hunter who has been hunting very long time, maybe more than 45 or 50 years. His unwholesome mind became very strong. One day, he was thirsty, but he found the water. He could not find any water. Then he saw a monastery, forest monastery. There are also a few bhikkhus in the monastery. He was so thirsty that he just go to the water place where bhikkhu puts their water on the pot. He opened the pot, trying to fetch water. The pot is empty. Then he complained, these bhikkhus are very lazy. They don't know how to save water. They don't fetch water for drinking. One bhikkhu overheard that. Actually, I have a feel the water there. Why he say like that? When he opened the pot, full of water. Then the bhikkhu talked to the hunter. There's water in the pot, inside the pot. No water. Okay, now I will give you water. The bhikkhu fetched water with a cup and give to the hunter. The bhikkhu hand is full of water. As soon as give to hunter, disappear. This is his unwholesome deed. Now when seeing that, the hunter felt shock. Oh, I have very heavy akusala karma. very heavy, unwholesome deed already. Then he dare not go back. He requests for ordination there with very strong sense of urgency. He practiced day and night. At night, he may fall asleep, so he's scared. That's why he used hay, drying grass, we can say. In Dali, it's drying grass. Then, deep in the water, put on his head, like a garland. Because his head is very cold, he will not fall asleep whole night. Meditate day and night like that. So too much excessive effort, so cannot attain anything. Now one day he over here, one Samyanas reciting some suttas, and in the sutta mentioned about balancing, controlling faculties or anything like that, then he could attain path and fruition knowledge. Anyway, the main thing is unwholesome. When unwholesome deed become very strong, whatever things you try, not successful. Maybe when you are going to do bad things, it will be successful. When you are going to do good things, not successful. So here, the main thing is thirsty or hungry as goes, worse than human being. In the previous hunter's case, if Bhikkhu didn't give, he will be thirsty. This human being thirsty already very long time, cannot get any water. You may also have heard many news from many different countries. Now many people are thirsty, no water resource. Even in Myanmar, we can hear many places like that. So, if we are hungry or thirsty, we can recall it very bad conditions in many countries. Similarly, heat of the mosquitoes, gadflies, winds, heat of the sun, snakes, scorpions. Actually, we don't know how many times we have died in the samsara, bitten by a snake. And we have one bhikkhu. He's called Loma Sanaga. It's from Sri Lanka. So he lived in the Jetiya hill. Now maybe according to Sri Lanka they call Mahindale, where Venerable Mahinda come. Jetiya hill. The eastern side of the Anuradhapura. He lived in the forest. This is also known as a forest. Then always a very hot. He say he recollects about suffering in the hell. Keep meditating. Extremely cold also he recollects. There are many lives I have died because of cold, very worse conditions. So this means he never gave up his meditation, whatever conditions he has, good or bad, heat or cold. This is his very strong determination. Because of strong forbearance, strong patience, he has that kind of things. Then also we have another Mahathera, we call Padaniya Thera. When he was listening a discourse on lineage of a noble person, we call Ariyavansa Sutta. He was bitten by a poisonous snake. But he was listening in the last row. So nobody knew that he was bitten by a snake. If he scream or shout, then they may not be able to listen. Anybody cannot listen Dhamma talk continuously. So he kept silent. keep listening to that discourse. When he felt very pain, he recollected his morality. Because Sila Nusati, recollection of morality. Sila Nusati could attain only up to asset concentration. Based on asset concentration, he could practice up to Vipassana, but he could attain arhatship. So this is the forbearance of patience. Then we cannot have that kind of patience. It depends on our physical conditions and our mind also. If we are strong enough physically or mentally, so we can determine, we can continue our practicing without any disturbance. So when we have very strong patience, very strong forbearance, sure, we can overcome all types of hindrances, defilements, taints or intoxicants. Then we have different types of personality. Now I will list out 4. One who has very strong patience, that means mentally very strong. And he also has physical strength. Bodily, also he was very strong. If someone is very strong physically and mentally, then very strong energy, also very strong patience. Whatever he practices, whether in the forest or in the city, he could attain path and future knowledge. This is the best quality. If someone does not have mental quality, the patience or forbearance, but very strong physical energy, he should live in the forest. No patience, so forest is much better. No noise, no disturbance. Then he could attain path and future knowledge. One who does not have patience, so who has very strong patience, physically very weak, should live in the city or town or in the village. Then they could attain path and future knowledge. If someone doesn't have both, no patience, no physical strength, no more possibility to attain anything. At least, if we don't have physical energy, we must have mental energy, forbearance. This is also a kind of parami, perfections. If we wish to do, it's possible. There's a proverb, where there is will, there is a way. Okay? So today we have 3 types of asava according to today's explanation. The first type should be removed through the restraints, controlling eyes, ears, nose, tongues, body and mind. The second type, removed by reflections when we use clothes, foods, residence, and medicine. The last type, through the forbearance. When we have very strong patience and kanti, we can overcome taints, the asava. So, may you all be able to train yourself until you can achieve eradicating all types of asava, mental intoxicants, until you could attain nirvana. Okay. Now we have a short time for question and answer. We don't know that you have defilements. We have mosquito nets. Solutions are very easy. Huh? Huh? If we know, we can change. If we don't know, we cannot change. Right? So one more thing is truth and untruth. If we don't know truth and untruth, we cannot choose which is the truth. If we know, we know what to choose. Then if we choose something properly, if we train properly, sure, there can be improving. Okay? So first we must know, then train or practice. Then, sure, we can get the result. Hiri Uddhapa also, actually, first we have to know what is the Hiri, what is the Uddhapa, right? Similarly, we also have to know what is the defilements, what is wholesome mind. Okay. Okay. Okay, so the main thing is a complaint. So when you see something or hear something, you may complain yourself or you may complain other, right? This is the first thing. Another one is that we also have to accept nature, the nature of people, the nature of environment. So if we don't recognize or if we don't think about the condition of the nature, for example, like when we have good meditation, someone have coughing, it can distract our minds. If we know this is rainy season, anybody can catch the cold, then not much problem. The main thing is that we don't know the conditions. And if we know the condition more, sure, we have more patience. Another one is that we also have to think about the worst conditions compared to other. For example, like compared to many meditation center next to highway, right? Okay, that place is better, only human noise. So if we have that kind of consulting to ourselves, then it will be easier to have patience. Okay? Anything? Survive. Okay, when the power of piti pasati, we can remove, right? All the poison. Okay, huh? I see. So we have according to my knowledge, maybe 4 types of answer, or maybe 5 types of answer. I'm not sure. Okay, I will record that one. So sometimes question is wrong already. If wrong questions, Buddha may not answer. For example, like there's a self in the body or not. After that, there's a self or not. The question is wrong already, so Buddha may not answer that kind of questions. Similarly, the Buddha after pass away, there's a life or not? There's a no life or not? So this is the question is already wrong. So Buddha may not answer that kind of questions. Actually, maybe in your question, there will be some problem with the translator. We have the usage Tathagato. Tathagata mostly we use as a Buddha. But in the Silakkhana Vagga, the first and the second suttas, especially in the first sutta, we use Tathagata. In that part, Tathagata doesn't mean the Buddha. It just means living beings. So after death, there's a living being, except in the living beings or not, for example. The Buddha cannot give the right answer. I mean, some yes, some no. Right? That's why questions are wrong. Buddha may not answer. Okay, now I have to record the question. Some question we can answer directly. Yes or no. Very clear. Some questions we can answer yes or no. We have to put counter question. Then answer. Buddha also use that method. Therefore, some questions Buddha have to explain very much in detail. First explain, then answer. Then the last type, Buddha never answer. If question is wrong, Buddha will never answer. Okay. Oh, I see. Okay, so especially when practicing samatha, kasina or anapana, when we see the light or nimitta or anything at the time, we have that kind of recommendation. The first one is Sabbasava lakkhana, natural characteristics. Natural characteristics, natural characteristics mean like a heat, cold. These are the nature of fire elements. Similarly, hardness, roughness, heaviness, softness, smoothness, lightness, they are the nature of earth elements. So there are many different nature of materialities. For example, like a iron translucency, they have their own nature. Then there's also air translucency, no translucency, they have their own nature. That's what they are called natural characteristics, Sabbasava lakkhana. The second one is the general characteristics, Samanya lakkhana. That means anicca, impermanence, dukkha, suffering, anatta, non-self. These are called general. If we say these three, it covers all types of ultimate realities. So after saying ultimate realities, we can use these three. Right? So we must not use all the time. For example, like a morality, for example, right? Sometimes we have that kind of problem. When we say, you don't observe morality, then they will complain, it's also anicca. Right? This is actually not correct. In the case of morality, we cannot say anicca, dukkha, anatta. This is a concept. And similarly, If we say many other similar things, like for example, killing, for example, right? Killing. No killing, this is the nature. For example, right? This is anicca. This is also like anatta, non-self. This is also actually wrong view. Right? We cannot use anicca at the time. When we see ultimate reality, we can use anicca dukkha anatta. Right? So if we use properly, this is correct. If we cannot use properly, this is wrong. That is why Buddha prohibited not to follow any general or natural characteristics when practicing samatha. Okay. Maybe this is a translator mistake, maybe. In the, I would say, Tathagata, the use of Tathagata is not the Buddha, living beings actually. Maybe you use that passage from Jigga Nikaya. In Jigga Nikaya, the first discourse, we have that kind of passage. After death, Tathagata has self or not, something like that. It's a Tathagata actually, but people understand Tathagata as a Buddha. In that part, Tathagata doesn't mean the Buddha, it means living beings. This is sure. That is why this is maybe when you read some translation, you can get confused that one. Not the Buddha, right? Living beings. Actually, concentration is ekagata, one-pointedness. If you know one thing, this is called concentration. Yonisamanasikara means wise intention, or maybe good intentions, or right intentions. We can also say right attitude. So whatever thing you see or you hear, you have positive thinking, more positive thinking. Right? Then your mind is not very harmful. Your body is not very harmful because of that kind of attitude. Then this is called Yonisamanasikara. One more thing, sometimes although you have positive thinking, but it causes a lot of unwholesome mind. This is not really Yonisamanasikara. Right? So that means whatever manasikara you have, if the manasikara causes wholesome mind, that can be Yonisamanasikara. Okay? Actually, the same as the controlling faculties. The saddha, faith or confidence, is also power, bala or strength. Then sati is also bala, the power, strength. That means if you are mindful, you have mental strength. Your mindset is strong. So when you have faith, your mindset is strong. When you have concentration, your mindset is strong. When you have a virya, right actions, right effort, then you are strong. So here, bala means strength or the mind, not strong of the body. Okay, now we can stop, right? Any question? No more, right? We can stop, right?